Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we will be finishing our login API and our signup API. So let's jump into it. We are in a controller and we already have created a login API and a signup API, but still they are incomplete. As for the signup API, we haven't sent any response, and also for login API, we haven't covered the error cases. And the most important thing, how do we validate a user using Jot? That is what we will be looking into. So first we'll see how to remove all the error cases or send a appropriate response for the error cases. The first thing that we want to send is if the password is invalid or the password is incorrect. We'll just say else rest.status is, for this we will be sending a 401, which means unauthorized, as the password is invalid, so the user is unauthorized, and send password invalid. Now, if the user itself doesn't exist, what do we send? If the user doesn't exist, we send a 404, as the user is not found. 404 means not found. And we'll say user invalid. Let's save this and test this one. So to run, we'll say denon dash dash allow dash net dash dash allow dash env dash dash allow dash plugin dash dash allow dash net sorry read dash dash allow dash write dash dash allow dash plugin unstable, all the okay, dash dash unstable and app.ts. Okay, what? Okay, there's a tilde. What? Not found. Okay, sorry. We need run here. Yep. So see, it's working. So let's go ahead and check whether our API is working or not. So yeah, we can see the jot is created, so the API is working. So now for the error cases, if the user does not exist, then it'll say user invalid and a status of 404 at it's not found. Similarly, if the user is there but the password is invalid, so we'll send it and we can see password is invalid. So we have implemented both the error cases here. So let's move on to how to actually verify whether the user who has logged in is valid or not. So the way to do that is by creating a function. We'll create a new function, export const validate user, and we'll pass in the JWT. So we have a basic definition and now we need an import. So we'll go to deno.land, third party modules, search for DJWT. Here we go. And we can see here what we have is a validate function. We'll copy this import, paste it just below here, and you can see the function definition. It is an await function as it's an asynchronous function, and we need to pass the JWT and the key to this validate JWT. So the key we will be getting from here. We'll pass this key, paste this here, and then we'll create is valid is equal to validate JWT, and we'll pass in the JWT and the key. So, and then we'll say is valid, I guess, valid, yep, and await. Let's just confirm this. Yep, is valid. Dot is valid, and we'll say async here. That makes it work, and Just to test this out, once we have created the JWT, we'll pass it here. So we'll just console.log validate user and we'll pass in the JWT. Let's go ahead and save this. Okay, it's downloading, compiling, two errors, does not exist. Okay, so like this, we need to say. Now let's save it. It's compiling. Okay, okay, as my bad. As it's a TypeScript, we need to provide a type. So we'll say string. Mm, String here. Yep. So do not forget it. It's TypeScript. My bad. Yep. Server is running. So let's just pass it here like this. See what happens. JWT logged in. Okay. Okay. So we should have written await here also. Let's write await here also. Let's see if it compiles. Yep. Now if you send it, it's undefined. Okay, so undefined, we haven't actually returned anything from here, so that is why it is saying invalid. Let's go ahead and return it. Save it, let it compile. Yep, server is up. So let's test it. So you can see it's true. So that means it is valid. Now, again, after 1 minute, if I try to run it, it will show invalid that time. So that means only for a minute the user is valid. Once that 1 minute gets over, the user is invalid and can no longer access whatever URL or a private route he is trying to access. So a private route is nothing but a route that is not applicable to user until and unless he has logged in or the login session is valid. We will go into more detail once we start with the React part or the front end part. For now, let's just understand how to validate the JOT. So the second and the last thing that I want to do is actually return some response when the user is signed up that we had missed in the last tutorial. So once the user is done, I'll just respond dot send or status will be 201 as the user has been created and 201 is for creation dot will send the user itself. Yep, let's save it, let it compile. Server is up. Now let's create a new tab, copy this, paste it here, make sure it's post, go to body, raw, JSON data. Let's copy these two lines also. And yep, so we'll say name is, let's say, Johnny. Username is Johnny user. Password is password. And email is johnnyb@johnny.com. So the path is sign up. I think it's good. Let's send it and see what happens. So you can see the OID has been returned. So this is what we wanted to do, and we will be using this OID later on. And the last thing is that we actually didn't change this because what the path, okay, let me just show you. So if we log in with this username that we just created, paste it here, use the password. It is actually going to say password is incorrect. So let's test it. So you can see password is invalid. So now why is this happening? Now, as we have implemented this sign up, we are actually hashing the password and then saving it rather than saving it as a plain string. So what is happening here is it's taking the hashed password from the database and comparing with the plain text that we are sending from here, that is password. That is why it will always be invalid. So how do we do it? We'll go ahead and all we need to do is we can just go here, third party module, search for bcrypt, yep, open it, and here you can see we have a compare sync function where you will have a password that is your plain text and the hash function, and it will automatically do the comparing for you. So let's just implement it. Let's say bcrypt dot compare sync, and the plain text is the body password and the hash. Okay, so body dot password, and the hashed password is user password. Paste it, remove this, and yes, we are good to go. Now let's just test it out. Server is up. Now if we send this, we should have a validated user. Yep, so you can see the jot has been created. So this is how now we have actually completed our user login and sign up. So in the next part, we will move on with the to-do application, the to-do API. That's it for this video. See you in the next one.